Hello, Internet. This is Will W. Williamson, host of the World Wide Web phenomenon, Wacky Wonders of the World, the podcast, and welcome to another episode. So, I thought I'd get started off by saying we've spent hours before talking about amazing structures, vast armies, and magnificent works of art. Now I think it's time to set aside an episode talking about how to preserve these things and how to reduce our impact on the environment. And for me, one of the biggest things I see when I look out to how the environment is being damaged, it's trash. We get fast food, we throw away the trash. Everything's disposable, and everything's going in landfills. And so that's one of the big parts of the three R's: reduce, reuse, recycle, is the reduction and the reuse of things to take things that would otherwise be trash and take them out of that loop. And I don't think this is exclusively an American problem. Every place has trash, but in America we've become accustomed to this culture of excess and abundance. And so recently I was talking to my buddy, Petey Scruggs, who's from Australia. He's a wildlife conservationist. He was on for one of the last episodes, you may remember. And he was talking about fast food in America, and not that they don't have it in Australia, but the abundance we have. We've got McDonald's across the street from other McDonald's, and so I got a clip of him talking about the abundance, how much food, how much waste we produce here, and so I'll play that right now. I mean, look at the size of it, mate. You see this? Is it as small? Yeah, Peter, you don't have this in Australia. No, we've got Maccas in Australia, but just look at the size of these servings. And of course, Petey did finish his serving. He's a big guy, Petey, if you're listening, we love you, man. We love to have you back on the podcast. Uh, but back to the point, according to treehugger.com, the average person, the average tons of waste per person, and I'm guessing this is for years, in Nevada is 38.4 tons of waste a person. And the lowest would be in Idaho with 4.1 tons of waste. And I mean, think about that. Every single person that you pass on the highway, that's at least 4.1 tons of waste a year. And that all depends on, how many people are in the car. You pass, so many people, if there's traffic, I mean, that's a whole ton of trash right there. And, you're only really going to run into those 4.1 people around Idaho. And I'm guessing not a lot of you guys are listening in from Idaho. So, I mean, typically in the cities, it can get up to above 30, high 20s. And that's a lot. And again, you got to find somewhere to put that stuff. And so that goes back to the whole 3 R's thing. By reducing, you're taking trash that would otherwise be in a landfill and be damaging the environment, and you're using it for something. You're giving it a purpose. Same with everything else. But there's a reason that the reduce R is the first, because that is the most effective. It's probably the most. It's the easiest. You just choose not to produce waste. And so I was talking to my stepbrother, who's actually a dolphin. And so he is not like on the whole human thing. And so I was down at the beach, and obviously he wasn't speaking English. He was doing those, clicking, squeaking things that dolphins do. And I couldn't record it because like those squeaking things are too high pitched for the microphone, and most listeners wouldn't understand it anyways. And he was telling me, he's saying, Will, what is the deal with the human thing? What's the deal with the trash? Like, why can't you solve this problem? You guys are the smartest beings on the planet. You were lucky enough to get opposable thumbs, And I'm a dolphin. I'm not like at that level. We don't build structures, but we're damn smart. And so I just can't get my head around why you're destroying the world. Why nobody can come up with a solution. And so that made me think a little bit. And that story's about the dolphin. It's my stepbrother Maurice. We've been trying to get him on the podcast, and we've got that problem with the microphone, and he's a mammal, so we could figure it out. But he's real busy with the kids right now. So we'll get him on one day. He's a real smart guy. Or dolphin. So, anyways, let me get back to the topic. So, I know this entire episode I've been talking about the problem. I've been talking about the problem. I haven't been bringing up the solution. And so now I'd like to kind of present a solution. And I know everybody makes fun of these people that walk around with like the metal straws sticking out of their Starbucks cups. They look stupid. I get it. It's kind of goofy. You see them on Twitter, but I do at the same time. I think it's a step in the right direction. I mean, what they're doing is they're reusing. They're creating a product that can be reused, that takes potential waste out of that cycle. Things don't get sent to the landfill because of it. And I'm not just saying straws, need to be like that, but there are so many things that we could, water bottles, for instance. A lot of people use reusable water bottles now. That's a step in the right direction. I think the more we get over, this need to have disposable products, the closer we'll get to reducing, the waste stream to a manageable level. So that's going to be the end of today's episode. And before I sign off, I would like to give a big shout out to the sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. It's one of the biggest mobile role-playing games of 2019, and it's totally free. Currently, almost 10 million users have joined Raid over the last 6 months, and it's one of the most impressive games in its class, with detailed models, environments, and smooth 60 frames per second animations. All the champions in the game can be customized with unique gear that changes your strategic buffs and abilities. The dungeon bosses have some ridiculous skills of their own, and figuring out the perfect party and strategy to overtake them is a lot of fun. Currently, with over 300,000 reviews, Raid has almost a perfect score on the Play Store. The community is growing fast, and the highly anticipated new Faction Wars feature is now live. You might even find my squad out there in the arena. It's easier to start now than ever with a Raid's program for new players. You get a new daily login reward for the first 90 days that you play the game. So what are you waiting for? Go to the video or go to the podcast description, click on the special links, and you'll get 50,000 silver and a free Epic Champion shirt as part of the new player program to start your journey. Good luck, and I'll see you there.